What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Realm of X, a brand new story picking up with the issue number 1 continuing on the Fall of X. In this very Lord of the Rings type story, we are following Magik, Mirage, Typhoid Mary, Dust, Marrow, and Curse, picking up directly after the events of the Hellfire Gala 2023. When everything went down, Magik learned that her powers weren't working. When everybody was forced through the gateways, something had happened to Magik and the others, and now they are about to uncover exactly what that was. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Magik. She has found herself in an ancient forest. The signs of life are everywhere, from the flowers to the frogs to the butterflies themselves. This place is so beautiful that Magik thinks just for a moment that maybe she is dead. Maybe this place is heaven. But had it not been for all the screaming, she could have very well believed this. As she runs to investigate, this is where we run into Typhoid Mary, Marrow, and Mirage. With Curse running off in the distance, we see a full-scale attack from some kind of goblin-like creatures, and they are attacking the local humans. As we see the humans ride by on their steeds, screaming to hide, trying to get out of the way. Our heroes are left with so many questions, because the last thing they remember is Orcus attacking and Charles Xavier forcing all the mutants to leave. But then there was something else. There was a voice, there were words spoken, and then all of them had been pulled into this world. As everyone continues to fight on, Magik finds herself in an almost useless position, not having access to her powers at the moment. She may be able to fight, but the others are the ones really holding everything together. We also have Dust. Now Dust is wondering if they are doing the right thing. They don't know who the bad guys are in this fight, but when they see that these goblin-like creatures begin to attack the children, that is when Dust finally decides what side she's gonna fight on. We see her use her mutant ability, the storm sparing all who lay down their arms. But there is also no pain for those that do not, as the storm wipes across the battlefield. In an instant, this is all over. Typhoid Mary wondering why she even got up. But this is when we meet the humans of this realm. And when the humans get closer, they refer to them as the Four, a prophecy foretold, a battle against the White Witch. But these people are not thankful for the save. Though they are grateful, they don't want to seem ungracious. But their arrival, it marks the beginning of the end. The beginning of great suffering and uncertainty. This is when Traben, leader of House Molt, he introduces himself and lets them know that they are in Vanaheim. This is one of the 10 realms, and they have been expecting them, that they will answer all questions that the mutants might have, but they are very curious on where is Curse. In all the mayhem, Curse had taken off. As soon as the battle started, Curse ran to the woods. This is where we pick up with her. She couldn't be more delighted. All those troll things on their piggies sure made an escape real easy for her. But she doesn't know where she is either. Only that she is far away from Magik's grip and Xavier's stupid yapping. As she makes her way through the woods going up to a stream, this is where she is met off by some wolves, trying to scare them off, trying to throw them a stick, anything that might work. But as they get more aggressive, this is where things go sideways for the wolves. That is when the jinx hits. With the wolves being scared off, we see Curse taking off, going in her own direction, not knowing where she's headed, just exploring. Picking us up with the rest of the ladies, we are picking up with Danny Moonstar. She reaches out to all the minds of the creatures that are near her. The creatures of the woods have not seen Curse, but they are willing to help. Right now, more than ever, Magik feels hopeless, worried that Curse might be scared. But the truth is, Vanaheim is the one that should truly be worried. With the sun setting, we see them head back to House Molt, making the arrangements for bed and feast. Really just giving them a warm welcome, letting them know that everything is gonna be good, everything is gonna be fine, and that when the sun comes up again, they will continue their search. But out there, as the sun begins to dwindle behind the mountains, begins. We have little Curse who has come upon some trolls, and these trolls are looking for a meal, ready to boil up little Curse with some potatoes. And while they have this discussion, Curse is letting them know that you probably don't want to do that, because there's the thing that happens when people try to do bad things to her. Someone always gets hurt. Either it's her or it's gonna be someone else. And in this situation, she definitely feels like it's not gonna be her. She tries to make friends with them, that maybe we could share potatoes together. The trolls, not really sure if Curse is trying to play a trick on them or not, they come down with their club, not knowing that they just made a huge mistake. As we pick up 1 hour later at House Molt, everyone sitting down for feast, we have the arrival of Dust. She had just continued searching the entire west side, but she has found no signs of her. The only thing they know about this place so far is that they landed in the middle of a civil war. A war between the Vanir and the White Witch. But the others are more worried about how they knew they were coming. How they knew the exact number, why were they expecting them, and what does any of this even mean? But Vanaheim is a realm of divination. Premonitions and prophecies are a fact of life here. And so, as our heroes begin to get some more information, we are picking up with those trolls, the ones that tried to attack Curse. We see that they are in pieces, and not even the White Witch can put them back together. The White Witch is keeping tabs on the powers of Curse, not knowing what her intentions may be. The White Witch for sure is going to make sure that Curse also hurts as well. Now, as we pick back up with Magik and the others, to understand the events of today, they must understand the past. Once their people had lived in cities as big as countries, their technology and weapons rivaled those of Asgard, but their strength came with attention, unrest, and war. They saw the future. They saw what awaited for them if they did not act. And so they changed. They changed the fate of the realm. They left the cities to ruin, and they chose a simpler existence. That was the first time that the demise of Vanaheim had been prophesied. The second begins with the mutants' arrival. Mirage, Marrow, Dust, and Typhoid Mary. He tells all of them to follow along. Taking them to the library, he says that they have been waiting for their arrival for centuries. Though this is not unusual for them, it is noteworthy they cannot see anything past their arrival. Anything that they are involved in cannot be prophesied. But the prophecy says that there will be a battle. The White Witch attacks and they defend their land. They know that the four strangers will play some kind of part, but there is an unpredictable element. A chaotic power not even fate could seem to understand. There's an event, an unleashing of power, and after this, the future is lost. For years, this force was believed to be a magical object, but modern scholars have suggested that maybe, just maybe, it could be a person. This is when they come upon the four statues, depicting each and every one of the four, sculpted from one of the seers, prophesizing the arrival of the mutants. But while they look at this is when they get attacked from the White Eagles. The White Eagles come descending down on them, bodies falling from the sky. The stench of death envelops all of them, as our heroes do everything they can to defend the innocent. One of these eagles comes down, swooping, grabbing a young boy, and while Typhoid Mary is able to burn one of these birds, another comes in and grabs the child, leaving our mutants in confusion, not understanding that they didn't attack anybody, but why take the boy? A few moments later, this is where Curse sees that boy. He sees the White Eagles, as one of these eagles swoops down and it scratches her. Instantaneously, we see all of the feathers come off of these birds. The boy goes falling from the sky. He lands in the river, Curse running over to help, trying to reach him in time before he goes over the waterfall, but she is not able to make it. As the branch breaks, we see him go falling, and Curse screams, "Go home." And in that moment, reality shifts. Curse feels an ungodly amount of pain, but she was able to teleport this young boy right back into his mother's arms. And with Curse sitting here, tears and blood coming down her face, this is where the White Witch finds her. This is where we see Saturn 9. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Curse telling Saturn IX the events that had led them to getting here. The Hellfire Gala, Charles's voice inside of their heads, and Magik grabbing hold of Curse and running through a portal. And right now, Curse is sad. She's sad that she left behind everybody, all the other mutants. She knows that they're probably out there looking for her right now, but Saturn IX, being the wicked person that she is, she says that she has many eyes in the forest, and the mutants have been spotted, but they are trying to get back to Midgard. Curse believes that they are trying to get back without her, and Saturn IX, she only reaffirms this, telling her that she is safe. She is warm, she is comfortable here with the White Witch. And this is making Curse very spiteful, saying that those friends, they are no longer my friends. With Curse being so easily manipulated, we pick up weeks later. We pick up with Magik and Dust. There is a citadel out here in this forest. It has some kind of charm around it. It keeps all of them away. Anytime they try to get close, they feel sick, they feel dizzy, they feel scared, and this is what pushes them away from it. Ever since Magik got here, this has been the only magic that she has felt in this place. Magik believes that something is siphoning the power from this entire realm. Magik has tried drawing power from any kind of source that she might be able to, even darker sources, but the flow is blocked. And this feeling of discomfort as they get closer to the mountain, they hit an invisible wall eventually. This covers the entire citadel, and Dust has yet to find a way through. But over the weeks, Magik has been studying in the library. She has been pouring through all of the books, finding anything that she can. Hearing of this wall, she has read about this. And so she hurries off, she goes to find that book, hoping that this might give them some kind of lead. Meanwhile, at the House of Molt, we have Typhoid Mary, who has been practicing her sword skills. And Typhoid Mary, she's the same person that she's always been, but now she's a little better with the sword. This is where we have Magik running inside to the library, reading something about the prophecies of the walls. She goes to find this book. While searching for this book, she is also told of a prophecy. Now, many of these prophecies have been lost or stacked away, but she has finally found one. Though this man was a raging alcoholic, he was more of a poet than a prophet, but the texts focus on the fifth mutant. In this prophecy, it is referred to as chaos and not curse. But there is a drawing, and that drawing is identical to Curse. And so obviously they are all connected to this. They don't know how, they don't know why, but they were meant to be here. They were fated to be here. Back at the Citadel, Saturn IX has been working with Curse. They have been working on her powers. Recently, they had her use her powers on one of the prisoners, and Curse made him vomit toads, but not any toad. Toads that have been extinct for a century. She brought them back on a whim. And they're not even sure that Curse knew what they were or what she did. With one jinx, they were back from oblivion. And so Saturn IX is asked, why aren't you asking her for help? But Saturn IX has been observing her powers. Something like this, it's gotta come at a great cost. It might even claim her life. And so Saturn IX says that it must be her idea. She must want to help them. She must want to do this more than anything, or she fears that she might fail. But that's not gonna stop Saturn IX from planting the seed in her mind. As we walk up to a giant flame, they have been trying over and over and over again. When Curse comes into the room, Saturn IX lets her know what they are doing is their salvation, that this fire is an ancient power source. The Citadel was built around it. This is how they once powered the gates and trading routes to other realms back in the day. It brought Vanaheim to the universe, and the universe to Vanaheim. But when they left their cities, they hid this away. It was too powerful to be destroyed, so they used it to hide it in another dimension. And Curse finds all of this just so fascinating. Limitless power, right there, but not in your grasp. Saturn IX wants to bring it back, but they are running out of time. That if they don't have this power, they don't stand any chance in the coming war. This is where we pick up with Danny and Marrow. Right now, they are currently observing the Citadel. A gateway, one way in, one way out. At this point, it seems like their only option to get inside the Citadel. But while they observe the entrance, this is where they are met by bounty hunters. And while Danny, she really tries to say, we don't want any trouble. Marrow, on the other hand, she doesn't really agree with this. In fact, Marrow has been looking for a fight. These bounty hunters aren't standing down, so Danny Moonstar and Marrow, they both go in. It doesn't take them long to defeat these bounty hunters, and that is where we have the arrival of Dust. Everybody has been looking for a way in. They have exhausted every single possibility, and Dust lets it be known that she has been probing the perimeter of the wall. There is a hidden gate on the east side. The raiders use it to enter the territory, but it is protected by a magical wall. She does believe that there are weaknesses, that they might be able to get through. Not only this, but Dust has also been searching the forest for any sign of curse. At this point, Dust has to be able to believe, or coming under the assumption, that she's gotta be inside the Citadel. That curse couldn't be anywhere else. As they all return back to the House of Molt, Typhoid Mary, she is livid because they have been out there for weeks and they have returned with nothing. They have tried everything they can. They've tried sending messages to Asgard. Either those messages aren't getting answered or they're not making it there. Either way, they are on their own. Their last resort is trying to infiltrate the Citadel. As everyone makes preparations, Typhoid Mary lets Magik know that you're not coming with us. And at first, this puts her at pause. It hurts her feelings. But then she does understand she doesn't have any true power here. If anything, she is more of a liability on the battlefield than anything else. That they need people with powers, especially if they're facing against someone like Saturnine. And so, with her being left behind, we pick up at the Citadel. Saturnine is being told of the prophecies. This old lady is telling her that you could change your fate, but what you want is to control your fate. That is something that is not necessarily possible, but there is a theory out there. The only way to change one's fate is to give up something, and not a symbolic gesture, but truly go against your nature. Give your very self and see what grace will find you. But Saturnine is unwilling to give up anything. She tries to control the game of fate without truly knowing the rules, without understanding everything that is at play. Saturnine is trying to change the prophecy. With the mutants coming closer and closer, the question now remains, what will Saturnine do? Is she going to go fight? On the outside of the Citadel, we have our mutants that have reached the gate. Now, had Magik been here, she would have told them that they need to watch all of the memories they are having. As they get closer to the gate, it affects them in very odd and mysterious ways. That the memories they are seeing are essentially giving these memories away as they walk through the shield of Magik. You see, Magik has been reading up on all of this, so she understands the lay of the land. She understands what the costs are. As our heroes get into the Citadel, they look around and they are completely confused. They don't know what this place is or where they even are. They're not even sure if this is the Citadel at this point. And Saturnine, going against what the prophecy is saying, she gives the order to find the mutants and kill them. And then we have Magik. Unable to stay behind, we see her leave the House of Molt. Nobody sees her. Nobody watches her walk away, but she disappears into the forest. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Saturnine trying to bring her army through all of time and space. They wait far beyond the 10 realms, but we see the fabric of the universe begin to tear. As the army travels through dimensions and time, this world screams. The sound is hollow and deep, and this sound reaches far, all the way to our ladies Typhoid Mary, Mirage, Dust, and Marrow. They have infiltrated this little castle of Saturnine's. But even with the army of Saturnine coming through, we see as they make their way in, some of them get chopped in half because the gateways close. Saturnine just isn't powerful enough to open up this tear. Not enough to get her full army through. She did get enough to get a little bit of soldiers in, and so she instructs these soldiers to kill them. But she knows that she's gotta use Curse. Curse is the key to all of this. There is a power in that castle that will let them unlock the tear, to make it where they can go back and forth with ease. And so she sends her soldiers after the mutants. It doesn't take long for them to catch up with the mutants. And with Typhoid Mary getting it in the back of the head with a rock, She is the first to let out a devastating blow when Dani Moonstar reaches out with her powers, searching for the fear of her enemies. What she finds is that there is no fear. Their only desire is the death of their enemies. As the arrows begin to shoot, we see Dust do what she does, and she blocks all of the arrows before they make their way. As they hold off this offensive, that is when Saturnine appears in the sky. This is the first time that they have seen what they call the Witch. They didn't know it, but they do now. They know exactly who the Witch is. And this changes things drastically. And the reason that this matters is because whatever they thought this fight was, they were definitely wrong. Down on the ground level, we have Commander Trobin. They have called him First Blood for all of this time. Many believed it is because he is the one that drew First Blood in most battles. But deep in his heart, the commander knew what First Blood meant. First Blood meant he was the first to die. When the great prophecy was beginning to be fulfilled, he would be the first to fall. And that is exactly what we see happen here. After one of these soldiers kills the commander, the beginning of the end has started. The beginning of the war is now upon them, with Typhoid Mary using her powers and making the soldier kill himself. Even more than that, Saturnine had taken something from Dust. Saturnine using her powers against Dust. It appears that a piece of her had been taken. As they make a full retreat, we pick up with Marrow and Dust. They have learned that Magik is gone. Dani is screaming at the gods, and Dust is praying to hers. This is where we pick up with Saturnine. We see that she's got a little corked bottle, and this bottle contains the piece of dust that she had taken. We don't really know what it is or why she took it. More than likely, this is going to affect how powerful Dust is moving forward. But Saturnine now gloats, saying that the prophecy didn't come true, that the battle that is supposed to begin will not happen. The mutants are running scared, their defenses are holding, and their allies are ready. This is where we pick up at the Citadel's main entrance. We are learning that everybody is allowed inside, but they are not allowed with any weapons, spells, wands, enchantments, or magical artifacts. The Citadel is beginning a very strict lockdown, making sure that mutants cannot get in again. And on the outside of the wall, that is where we have Magik, making her arrival here. She is able to get inside. At first, she was very concerned with her powers, with her abilities, but her powers and abilities have not been working. She feels as she has been cut off from everything. And as she makes her way through the gateway, we learn that this is in fact true. She is able to make it through without any issue. But as she gets into the Citadel, that is when we have clay frogs that begin to fall from the sky. Everybody in the Citadel knows who is responsible. This is the work of Curse, with Curse being on a balcony nearby. All of these little clay frogs she is shooting out of the sky. This is really just a game for her. But with Magik seeing her, Magik climbs up. Excited to see her, we see that Curse is not happy to see her, asking what she is doing here, because Saturnine has been lying to her. Curse believes that all of the mutants left her here, that they stopped searching for her. This is when Magik tries to explain that the witch is a bad person, that this entire realm is cut off from the rest of the universe. Magik does everything she can to explain this situation, but Curse is a young and naive child. Magik simply lets her know that your family is waiting for you, that you can come home at any time. With Curse saying whatever and running inside, that is when we see Saturnine pop up in the doorway. Magik just realizing that Saturnine is the witch. Magik dives for the crossbow in front of her, but Saturnine is able to stop her, suspending her in midair. That is when she takes her and she throws her over the edge. With Magik falling down to her death, Saturnine goes back inside to talk to Curse. And this is where Curse is absolutely irate, asking if any of it is true, anything that Saturnine has told her. The truth is, Curse doesn't believe her. Curse has finally understood exactly who the witch is. She knows that she is not a good person. She knows that Saturnine has been lying to her. This is when Curse says, "Show the world who you are." And on Curse's words, all of Saturnine's shields, they break. All of the charms, they break. Lies and disguises crumble until there is nothing left but the truth. As we pick up moments before with Magik falling down to her death. As she falls, she remembers. She remembers a moment in time, a memory that had worked to be forgotten. A memory of Belasco, Being tortured, he tries to make her reach her magic, telling her to try and summon chaos. And in those moments, Magik remembers. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up with Sif in Asgard, observing everything. For all of this time, Sif was unable to see Vanaheim. This is because of Saturnine. She put up her invisible walls and she hid Vanaheim from the entire existence. But after what Curse did, bringing down Saturnine's defenses with a single sentence, Sif's eyes are now upon it, and she has called in some backup. She has called in the king, and Thor's vengeance will be swift. As we jump over to Vanaheim, we see that Saturnine is livid with Curse, screaming at her, making her cry, making her absolutely irate. And as the two argue, this is when Curse recognizes a bottle nearby, a bottle that appears to be trying to talk to her. It doesn't take long for Curse to understand that this is dust. Taking that bottle and knocking it onto the ground, we see that dust is released, and she tells Curse to run, filling the room full of dust, bothering Saturnine to the point that she is unable to see Curse run out of the room. And in the skies above Vanaheim, this is where we have Magik. She is tapped into some dark magic. All the pain and anger that is lying in this place. The only power left here is the suffering. And while she doesn't want to tap into this, she has no other option. This is her only means of fighting back against Saturnine. This is what takes us to the forest. We pick up with Danny and the others. They are preparing for the final battle. And as they prepare, we see the individual by the name of Vanos, one of the natives to Vanaheim. And we see that he's kinda got a thing for Typhoid Mary, wanting to take this last opportunity to tell her how he feels. We see him go in and give her a kiss. Luckily, Kingpin is not here to have any kind of say over this. But with that kiss, the ground begins to rumble. And with that rumbling, the invasion has begun. Saturnine no longer caring about this realm. We see the tear open up and her forces begin to invade. She plans to burn down every single tree and take every bit of life away from this realm. In doing so, this will only empower her more. But she still has hopes that she might be able to get Curse to join her side, to unleash that unlimited amount of power that lies in that well. This is what picks us up with Curse, currently hiding out in the castle. As some of the guards come to take her down, we see them turned into goo almost instantly. And that is when Magik arrives. Looking at this pool of power, Curse is letting Magik know that this is what Saturnine is after. Magik plans to keep this hidden, because any power like this that was hidden in the first place, she believes should stay hidden. And so as the two of them prep to get out of here, on the battlefield, our heroes are taking down the enemy. But Saturnine has arrived. She knows that they are running out of time. She still believes that Curse is the key to everything. She wants to change Curse's mind, or she wants to kill the child altogether. As this brutal battle unfolds, our heroes barely able to make it through the day, explosions left and right. And when things seem like they are at their worst, another rumbling comes. Except this time, this rumbling, it comes in the form of the mighty Thor. Thor and Freya descending down on Vanaheim. The king of Asgard has come to free Vanaheim. He has come to put down Saturnine. And at this point, Saturnine knows that her time, it is limited. Even if she wins, even if her forces could overwhelm those of Asgard and Vanaheim, she fears the twist of fate, ordering the death of Curse. Her words, they travel across the battlefield. As everybody takes aim, those that can defend. This is where Curse says, wouldn't it be cool if Magik got the powers that power-hungry witch wants? This is when Magik is pulled away. The prophecy has been fulfilled. Magik finds herself in the Citadel. The tower shatters around her, but it does not hurt her. Through dimension and time, the source returns to Emberstone, and Magik gets what Saturnine was after. Magik has become the power. She is an ocean, a realm, a universe. The ancient source pulsing through her body. Looking up to the sky, she is able to heal it with a single thought. But all of this power pulls and tears inside of Magik. It is a power that is even too great for her, too great for one person to hold. And so she gives this power back to the realm. With that, new grass emerges. Soft winds return. The power sinks into the soil like water in a desert. There is new life in all of the death, but she is unable to bring the dead back to life. With this new life coming into Vanaheim, the last of the enemies falling in the distance, Saturnine letting Magik know that she can feel Magik's eyes upon her. That curse gave you the source, and then you gave it back to the realm. Calling Magik a fool, we see her open up a portal and Saturnine gets out of here. As we pick up a few days later, the future has returned to Vanaheim. Its winds, its water, the very air that they breathe. This place has been born anew. And with their job done and everybody saying their goodbyes, Thor and Freya, they offer them the Bifrost to take them wherever they wish to go. And obviously, our mutants, they want to return home, with the king ordering Sif to send all of them home. Our mutants, they return back to another fight and another kind of war. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, you guys know that I have had my complaints about this story for a little while now. I thoroughly enjoy the Dungeons and Dragons style of writing that this is. The very medieval aspects of Vanaheim and everything in between. Unfortunately, this comic was lacking because of the artwork. The penciling that was done in this was just honestly atrocious. It feels like it was almost rushed. It's crazy to me that there is such a wide variety of artists that work at Marvel. There are some comic books that you pick up and you're just like, oh my god, this artwork is stellar, it is amazing, it is fantastic. And then there's others that look like maybe my 5th grader had gone ahead and just drawn for Marvel. And maybe I'm being a little bit too biased. Maybe there are people out there that thoroughly enjoy this kind of art style, but I'm just not one of those people. And so for me, the artwork hugely took away from the story. But what this story did really highlight was Curse. Curse has a ridiculous amount of power at her disposal, and while being young and naive, she was given the nickname of Curse because her powers and abilities are so far out there that her adolescence and her innocence have made her powers more of a curse. Not understanding the full scope of how her powers worked, now she's starting to get that understanding. As she matures, as she becomes older, she will be more careful with her words. But we have already seen that she took down all of Saturnine's defenses. She gave Magik a kind of power that nobody should be able to wield. In my mind, there is no question. Curse will be an Omega level mutant. With proper training and proper understanding of how to use these powers, she could be instrumental in the survival of mutant kind as a whole. But she could also be used as a weapon that could be absolute devastation, a weapon of mass destruction, of global extinction. Her potential is not only limitless, but it's probably one of the more dangerous mutants to exist. The only thing that is truly keeping Curse off of the radar is her age. But once she gets older, I have no doubt she will be on everybody's radar. All in all, it's not a bad comic. It's unfortunate that they decided to go this route considering everything going on with the fall of X. It's like they wanted to take mutant kind and just spread them out as far as they can. That way they're not together, they're not fighting as a choreographed unit. They're not fighting as one. But as we have seen all of these Fall of X titles reach their end, we are seeing that everybody is being brought back together, one way or another, and the war for mutant kind survival is finally about to truly begin. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything that is going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with the Fall of X. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.